I'd like to share with you some ideas that I've got around how we can use student feedback surveys to improve teaching practice and ways that I'd really hope we could make this work better at a system level. There's been lots of research done on student effectiveness surveys and student perception surveys and how they can improve teaching. A major study was done by the MET project, funded by Bill and Melinda Gates, which looked at the measures of effective teaching. And they actually found in there that students are a very good judge of what an effective classroom looks like. In fact, they were probably better at judging that than administrators were when they did classroom observations, especially if the classroom observation was only a one-off. Students are in the class all the time, so they know what's going on. There are a number of benefits to student perception surveys. Obviously, teachers get real-time feedback and results that point to their areas of strength and weaknesses. The students' surveys have got good validity, they're quite reliable, and they're quite low cost to implement. At our school, what we've done is a fairly low cost introduction or implementation of student surveys. We use SurveyMonkey. We've got a link on our content management system to the teacher effectiveness survey, and twice a year students get in there and give their teachers some feedback. So the structure of the survey looks like this. We've tried a couple of years where we made the students put their names on there, and then we had other times where they didn't have it at all. Now we've made it optional where they put their names on it. Turn to year level, identify their teacher, and we start with some open-ended questions. What sort of learning activities are working for the students? What aspect of the teacher's doing well, and what aspect of the teaching the teacher could improve on? Then we go into a series of 34 multiple choice questions on different aspects of classroom instruction. Alright, so you need to imagine that you're the teacher and you've surveyed your class, and this is your results. This is the feedback that you get. We call these our sphincter plots. So, they generate a little bit of tension in the sphincter and you get your results. First thing I say to people is focus on the positives. Okay, where your class line, the red line, is outside the blue line, the whole school line, then you're probably doing better than the rest of the staff are on those components. So this one, building vocab, doing a good job with that. Explaining your answers and asking why you think that. Being passionate and enthusiastic, doing well on those. These ones here, it's way outside the line. Ability to collaborate with others online. High expectations, giving feedback. So those are good. Giving challenging work that you're expected to finish. Then we focus where our red line is below the school line. These are our improvement opportunities. Teacher makes it clear how we're going to be assessed, success criteria, what we need to learn. And over here, it's clear what we have to learn. So you can see there's obviously a bit of correlation there. Students maybe don't know in your class what it actually is that is required of them. They think they're working hard. Well, I don't think you make them work all that hard. But you're giving them challenging work, but they're not really sure how they're going to be assessed on that. We also give our teachers feedback around Moodle, which is our measures of enabling technologies or using online learning. Doing a great job there with your collaborative online learning. Probably could make the course a little easier to follow. At our school, we then came up with our effective teacher components of enthusiasm and passion, knowledge, engagement, relationships, feedback, high expectations. We've had a big push over the last couple of years on learning intent and also our use of enabling technologies. So some of those questions are advocated around those. So in your class, you're doing really well with your Moodle stuff. A little bit below the going on the learning intent page. That's just another way of showing the information where you get a comparison between how you're doing the whole school and your KLD. So again, the Moodle stuff's good. You need to work on that learning intent part. You also get some feedback on the same questions based on the AITSL standards. And you could get that further broken down into the different components. So here you're providing good feedback to students about their learning. your ICT work is great. We're using good learning strategies. Probably need to do a little bit more around that assessment of student learning. Our school's got its own instructional model, and we've linked the survey to these. Now, the way this is displayed here, you'll see the green ones are where you're the highest above the school average, so ability to work on, collaborate online, building vocab, those are your strength areas. Your weakness areas, and again, that success criteria and learning intent. You'll see those 3 learning intent questions there. That's the area where you've got the most room for improvement. Pretty clear for teachers what they need to work on. You also get some feedback about how much homework your students are doing. Your kids on average 30 minutes a night, although some of them aren't doing any at all. How much of it they actually do, and you get that compared to the rest of the school as well. And you can see in your class, the school average last year was 45 minutes of homework per subject, and your class is doing 44, so they're pretty close to the school average there. What our teachers then do, they have to fill in this PMI and plus minus interesting, and they take that along to their reviewer when they do their annual reviews, and they talk about what the survey, what the students are saying to them in terms of what they're doing well, what they can improve on, and what they find interesting. It's quality feedback, and it really does work well for our teachers. That's what we've got set up, obviously just using SurveyMonkey and an Excel spreadsheet. There are many commercial products that are available out there. Tripod was the one that was used in the MET project. Panorama is another US one used in many, many schools over there. I've actually contacted both Tripod and Panorama and had some long and interesting discussions and shared our version of the survey with them, and they've shared all their questions with me. They're just really, really expensive though, and this Pivot is the Australian version. For our school, with 70 staff, 900 students, you're looking at $2,500 to $7,000 a year to get one of those commercially produced products. Now, my thing is we work in a system, and I don't think our schools should be spending that much money, and I would really hope that our system would be able to provide this sort of information to schools. It's interesting when you look at the states. One of the New York State, for example, has gone with one of those commercial products and mandated its use across the whole state, whereas Colorado has made their own version of the survey. So Colorado's got its own student perception survey that they use, and that's mandated. I think we should, as a government school system, develop our own student survey. And I think it should be free for everyone to use. It should be optional. If schools want to use it, they can use it, but it's there. I think one of the key things with it, and we've found this in the 7 years we've been using student perception surveys, while they're compulsory and teachers have to do it, we've been very careful that we only use it in the development, not the performance evaluation part. So it's about feedback, it's not about evaluation, and that's what we say to our teachers all the time. And that's very well accepted by the staff as long as that is maintained. Teacher confidentiality obviously has to be maintained, and if we do set it up on a system level, I think it'd be good if you could get some school comparisons. Obviously I wouldn't be able to pick the school, but the way the My School site works is good, where you can say, okay, what about schools with similar student cohort? What about schools of a similar size? How is my student surveys related or comparable to them? You'll also be able to get some school level work on there. But those are all details we can work out later on. The question I have is this the sort of thing that the Learning Impact Fund would be interested in funding? Obviously we've got a prototype there that's been developed, but we'd like to get it put into a form that more schools could use easily, and we would hope that if we got some money from a grant, that it would be possible to develop it relatively cheaply and then implement that in some low SES schools in Victoria. Obviously, we can set up that experimental group for the implementation and the trialling part of the process. And we can assess whether it changes teacher practice or not. I'm certainly available for the rest of this year and the next year in terms of when I could be working on a project like this. I think it'd be a really high leverage strategy, and I think it would improve teacher practice. Which with that Dylan Williams quote, if you want to get better results, you've got to get better teachers. And the only way to get better teachers is to make the ones you've already got better. And I think student surveying like this can do it. I'd love to know more about whether you think it's a suitable grant application or whether I should start writing it up or not. Thanks for listening.